Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into something that's affecting just about everyone in Kenya, the incredible pressure of public debt and taxation. We're not just going to look at it as an economic issue, but as a real challenge to justice, to fairness, and to the dignity of every single person.
And we're starting with this powerful call to action from the prophet Amos. It really sets the tone for everything we're about to discuss, reminding us that these economic struggles are, at their core, a deep moral and ethical issue.
So where does this analysis come from? Well, we're breaking down the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops' 2026 Lenten campaign. Specifically, we're digging into their focus on ballooning debt and overtaxation to really see how it's playing out in the lives of everyday Kenyans.
To really get our heads around this, the campaign uses this fantastic see, judge, act model. So first up, let's see the situation up close through a very personal story. So I want you to meet Kabetu. She's 10, and her life, like so many others, is built on the daily hustle of her parents. Her dad's out there on his boda, and her mom sells vegetables. They're working so hard to provide, but it feels like the ground keeps shifting under their feet.
One day, Kabidu asks her mom for some mahamri for a school event. You know, just a simple snack. But what used to be an affordable little treat, well, it's now a luxury. The price has doubled. And this one small thing says so much about the bigger economic squeeze.
And Kabidu's mother just lays it all out. It's not one thing, it's everything. The flour, the cooking oil, the school books, it's all going up. And she connects the dots for Kabidu. Taxes are up, and the fuel for her husband's boda has doubled. That means he's working just as hard but bringing less money home.
You know, it's a huge issue when even the kids are talking about it. This little whisper from Kabetu's friend shows you that the national debt isn't some abstract idea. No, it's a real thing that's being felt in lunchboxes and talked about in homes all across the country.
And this brings us to the question that's at the heart of everything, right? It's voiced by Kabetu's parents, but it's being felt by millions. With all this sacrifice, all this financial pain, where is the money actually going? This is the perfect pivot to the next part of our analysis.
Okay, so we've seen the personal story. Now it's time to judge the situation. Let's pull back the curtain and look at the hard data, the economic policies that are creating the world Kavetu's family is trying to navigate.
Here it is, the headline number, 11.3 trillion Kenyan shillings. That's the scale of Kenya's public debt. It's a number so massive it's hard to even imagine. But believe me, its consequences are felt in every single household.
So what does a number that huge actually mean for people on the ground? Well, it means the government often agrees to tough austerity measures to get loans, and that translates directly to higher taxes on essentials, cuts to subsidies that help the poor, and less money for public services. And this isn't just theory, is it? It all boiled over with the 2024 finance bill, when new, really steep taxes were proposed on everything from fuel to internet data. It just ignited these massive youth-led protests. People weren't just mad about taxes. They were pushing back against a system that felt completely unfair. And if you get a payslip, you know this feeling all too well. Before you even touch your salary, you've got deductions for income tax, a housing levy, health insurance, Social Security, and then the money you finally do get is hit with taxes like VAT every single time you buy something.
This brings us to a really important term the campaign uses, odious debts. What are they? Basically, they're loans taken out by a government without transparency, without asking the public, often for projects that are mismanaged. And who has to pay them back? Ordinary citizens, through more and more taxes.
So we've seen the story, we've judged the situation. Now we get to the campaign's next step, which is a spiritual reflection. This is where we're invited to think about this crisis, not just with our heads, but with our hearts, as a deep moral challenge.
At the very heart of this reflection is a core principle of Catholic social teaching. It says that the economy isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet, it's about people. Every policy, every budget, every loan, it all has to be measured against one simple standard. Does it help everyone, and does it protect human dignity?
The campaign draws on the story of the Transfiguration here, suggesting that with all the noise, the fear, the anger, and the political fighting, there's a call to listen for a different voice, a higher voice. It's a call to transform the situation, to find a better way forward.
So, what does it actually mean to listen in this situation? Well, it means looking out for the people who are struggling the most. It means having the guts to ask the hard questions like, are these debt burdens even fair?
It means demanding that our leaders manage public money honestly. And, you know what? It also means holding on to hope.
Okay, but reflection is one thing. It has to lead to action, right? So this final section is all about turning what we've learned and felt into real, tangible steps we can take. It's about creating a path forward.
And the first step in acting is actually a question for every single one of us. How well do we really understand how our taxes are collected and where that money goes? Because you can't demand accountability if you don't know the basics.
Next up is what's called an examination of conscience, and it's fascinating. It connects our personal financial habits to our duties as citizens. It asks us to look in the mirror. If we try to live within our means, have we demanded the same from our government? If we hate corruption in our own lives, have we turned a blind eye to it in public?
And finally, what can we do? The campaign lays out 3 really clear, practical actions. First, get together with others to track government spending in your area. Second, educate your community, your friends, your neighbors, about debt and taxes. And third, speak up. Let your leaders know you want fair taxes and responsible debt management.
All of this is captured beautifully in the campaign's theme and poster. You see Kenyans from all walks of life coming together, rebuilding a foundation. It shows that the theme, "You shall be my witnesses," isn't just something to think about. It's a call to get your hands dirty, to witness injustice, and to work for a fairer, more peaceful Kenya.
So we'll leave you with this challenge. After seeing the story, judging the facts, and reflecting on this moral call, what is one tangible step, no matter how small, that you can take this week to be a witness for economic justice right where you are?